Hello, my little rainclouds. I haven't recorded anything for a bit over a month now, I think, for a couple of reasons. But some people have been a little worried about me and have been asking where I am. So I thought I'd make something to allay people's fears, and also because I thought it might make me feel good to record something. I've been sick for quite a while now, it seems, and you might be able to hear that in my voice, but I got a cold, don't know from where, possibly from going to a workshop or something for uni, and it started out pretty gentle, but then it really ramped up, and it's still sticking around. Still kind of congested, still have a bit of a cough, but hopefully I get over that soon. I tweeted about it. Sometimes I tweet things on my Twitter and let people know how I'm doing or what's going on or why I haven't posted an audio for a while. But the basic gist of it is I've been sick with a cold for a long time. And also I bought some new audio equipment, some computer equipment to hopefully make my computer run quieter. I was very excited to do this because my computer makes a fair bit of noise and it's a bit of a pain for editing things. And I was very excited to use some of the money that my generous Patreon supporters have put forward so that I could make things sound a bit better. And so I bought the equipment, and actually seems to make things louder. Things are pretty noisy, which is not great, and that was pretty disheartening. So that also made me feel like not really recording anything until I had that fixed, but just going to try and deal with it. And I'm recording in a slightly different way, so maybe it sounds not so bad. Who knows? Another thing that has been keeping me from recording, and is a big one, is burnout. I have been really burnt out lately, so I wanted to talk about that, because I think it's something that a lot of people probably struggle with, and maybe don't even realize it. I've been studying counselling at uni, and I'm doing 2 subjects this trimester, which is pretty full on. And one of those subjects is trauma, which has also been pretty intense. And I've been trying to overcome procrastination and perfectionism and high standards and all sorts of other things that make studying difficult. And I've also been talking with a lot of people who have a lot of problems and trying to help them where I can. And I've also been thinking about counselling a whole lot. So I haven't really been able to take a break from it. It's just kind of my whole world, which is a problem, particularly as it's something that's very intense. It requires a lot of emotional energy, and it can take a toll on you. It burns you out. And dealing with a lot of the very intense, unpleasant aspects of trauma can kind of color your view of the world negatively, and you can end up getting kind of traumatized yourself, potentially. I don't think I've really experienced that so much vicarious trauma, but I have experienced some compassion fatigue, which is basically where you care too much for too long, and then you can't care anymore. You kind of get very exhausted and drained, and you just really struggle to engage with people. You can't take on their burdens anymore. You can't really stand people taking your emotional energy. You feel like you just need to shut down and recover. And unfortunately, that tends to result in becoming very sort of isolated and withdrawn, which is not actually what you need. Just sort of being alone doesn't tend to do much good for you. Instead, you tend to need to do other things that don't involve helping or caring for people. And that's kind of where I struggled, because I wasn't really doing anything other than counseling stuff. I didn't really give myself the opportunity to take a break. I had assignments after assignments, and I kind of felt the need to prioritize them. So I said, no, I won't go out and do things with friends. I won't spend time with people. I won't enjoy things. I won't take breaks. I'll just try and power through with all the stuff I need to do. And it turns out that's not great for you. You tend to get really burnt out because your whole world is this one thing that takes and takes and takes, and you're not doing other stuff to kind of recharge your batteries. So I ended up getting real burnt out. And I think that had a big impact on my physical health too, which is why the cold got a lot more severe and hung around a long time. It's because my body was just not in fighting state. So the take-home message is be very aware of burnout and compassion fatigue if you're a helper, but even if you're not, you can certainly get burnout in any kind of job, any kind of field, anything that you're doing, whether it's study or work or whatever else. You can absolutely get burnt out. We tend to want to prioritize deadlines and projects and exams and assignments and all these sorts of things. But if we neglect the other aspects of life, then we end up in a really bad position where we can't do the things that we need to do. We can't meet those deadlines or do those exams or assignments. So it's really important to get a good work-life balance. And I have not had that. And it's also really important to have boundaries so that helping or studying or whatever else it is, it ends at a certain point of the day. And then your sort of home life, your recreation, your rest can begin. And I didn't really have that. It was all just kind of mixing together as this homogeneous soup of helping people and caring about people and working hard and pushing myself hard, and I wasn't giving myself a chance to recharge. And if you push yourself like that for too long, it debilitates you. It disables you. You're not able to do the things that you need to do. I'm kind of in that point at the moment where I have 2 big assignments due and I cannot face working on them. The thought is just overwhelming. It's exhausting. It's draining. It's the last thing I want to do. And so I don't have the ability to do them, but I also haven't really had the ability to get away from them, to escape them. So they're still just kind of hanging over me, and I haven't been able to recover. As a result, I haven't been able to recharge my battery so that I can actually do the things that I need to do. But I'm trying to change that. Now that I've become aware of it, I'm starting to make changes. I'm setting better boundaries. I'm taking care of myself more. I'm prioritizing things and making time for self-care because it's really important to do. In a lot of societies and cultures, those kind of things can be viewed as weaknesses, as luxuries, as frivolous things. Spending time with friends or going for a walk, getting enough sleep. These things can be seen as extravagances, but they're not. They're absolutely vital. Taking care of yourself, making sure that life is stable and fulfilling and worth living, that is absolutely essential. And it's a difficult mindset to get out of. I think a lot of the productivity and efficiency that has been instilled with the workforce and the attitude towards work that we have in society, particularly Western society, is a really toxic thing. And people need to take care of themselves, particularly because your productivity goes way, way down if you're not taking care of yourself. If you're a walking corpse, an office drone who's a burnt out husk, you can't do good work. But particularly with something like a helping profession, you really need to be on top of your game. You need to be in good health and have good well-being to be able to help someone else. Self-care is not a luxury. It is medicine. It is as vital as food and water and air. Making sure that we are healthy and sustainable in what we do is really important. Taking care of yourself can be difficult if you don't value yourself or you value others higher than you do yourself. But it's important to recognize that you're not capable of helping people if you're not taking care of yourself. And this is something that I need to practice, not just preach. I've often used the analogy of, in airline safety videos and stuff, they'll tell you to put your own oxygen mask on before you put on anyone else's, because if you don't, you might fall unconscious without an oxygen mask on, and the person you were trying to help may not be able to put yours on for you. You need to fill your cup up first, and then whatever's left, whatever runs over, you can fill up someone else's. It's particularly difficult to step away from doing something that's tied into your identity, whether it's working or studying or helping or whatever else. If it's a big part of your self-worth and your identity, you don't really want to recognize the fact that you might need to stop doing it for a while. You might need to take a step back and recharge. It's easy to want to push past that, to ignore it, to think, no, I've just got to keep going. It'll get good. Things will change. Things will be better. But brute forcing it is not the answer. We need to listen to ourselves, to listen to our bodies. And it's high time that I start doing that myself. And I'm putting that into practice. A couple of days ago, I just sat down in a chair. And that was it. I didn't do anything else. I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't looking at the computer. I wasn't reading a book. I wasn't helping someone. I wasn't thinking about counseling. I just sat down and I didn't do anything. I just closed my eyes and gave myself time to just be. And it was such a good feeling. And it's kind of worrying how good that felt, because I just hadn't given myself that in so long. But it's important to give yourself some time to take off the helper cap or the worker cap, the student cap, whatever your uniform is, and just be yourself. Just be without having to be something, without having to fill a role or do a thing. That's really vital. And I've been kind of trying to get to bed a bit earlier, and I've been trying to eat a bit better, get some more fruit in my diet, and I've been trying to go for a walk most days, trying to get some sun. I've been doing some meditation here and there. Yesterday, I even tried some Qigong, which is like Chinese yoga. It's really low impact, popular with old people. It was nice. It was relaxing. Kind of helped to recenter myself. It doesn't have to be spiritual or anything, just physiologically. There are proven benefits to just doing some gentle movements with the body, stimulating the nervous system, recharging. It was really good. And I've even been spending time with people a little bit, which is not something that I'd really been doing. Not much, anyway. But I spent time with people and I didn't even talk about counseling. Didn't try and help them. Just talking with people. Sounds simple, but it can be hard. It can be hard to recognize our own blind spots. It's kind of the point. So just giving myself a break, taking a step back from commitments and responsibilities and pressures, setting some boundaries to give myself some time away from the stuff that currently, at least, is draining me. And giving myself the opportunity to do some things that recharges me. Still figuring out those, but it's important to do. It's important to develop hobbies and interests and activities and relationships that have nothing to do with whatever it is that you do. Helping, studying, working, whatever. Getting space in your life where that stuff doesn't touch it. So you can have a sanctuary, a shelter to retreat back to recharge and rest. That's really important. I was going to save this stuff for another audio, specifically about burnout, but you know what? It's fine. There's plenty more to talk about, but I think that's a really important thing to just start the conversation, because people don't really talk about burnout much. It's kind of becoming something that more people are aware of, but it's a pretty prevalent problem, and people don't really recognize it. I just thought I was really sick, and then I just thought I was like depressed or whatever, but it goes deeper than that. It's about stress, it's about exhaustion, it's about not getting a rest, not getting a break from things. So, give yourself a break. Pay attention to your body, to your brain. Look for the signs. You can read up on burnout if you want. I'm not going to go through all the symptoms, but it's important to take stock of where you're at, what your body's trying to tell you. Because it loves you. It's trying to take care of you. Its whole job is to keep you alive. Listen to it. Do what it needs. Nurture it and nourish it the way that you would a plant. Take care of it because it wants to take care of you. And give yourself that time away from things to just be, to just exist, to rest and recharge. I'm going to try and do that. I kind of feel like maybe recording something is a way of doing that, at least sometimes. But I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I'm not going to force myself to do it. I'm also not going to force myself not to do it just because I have assignments. That was a big mistake. Putting this off, putting off recording things, putting off spending time with friends, putting off going for a walk. There's time. There is enough time. You have to make it. Make room for it. Make room for yourself and your well-being. You deserve it. This stuff matters. And frankly, you're not going to be able to do anything if you're burnt out. Trust me. It sucks. Take care of yourself. And I will too. Until next time. Bye-bye, my little rainclouds.